Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. 9:41. I don't know what day it is. Thursday, maybe. Let's go with Thursday. 9:41 Thursday. Um, Eastern slope of Colorado. Temperature 74, and I am facing south. Hope everybody's good today. I woke up and had a great meditation. And it actually was a nice evening last night. A little bit of rain, just, I don't know, a few minutes. Clouds came over, wind came over, wet came down, and then it was gone. I'm at a park west end of town, and I'm in a parking lot, and it looks like they dug up some of the parking lot potholes to fix them, and all of the geese, not all of the geese, a lot of the geese are packed into the potholes, sitting in them. For what reason, I have no idea. But they look like they're happy geese. So I'm going to just stay right where I'm at and not bother them. And I'm in a little bit of shade, and we'll let the truck run. It's a little warm, so I'm going to leave the air conditioner, not the air conditioner, but cool air on. I have some great coffee this morning from a different place I normally don't go. And it's delicious. I think they're drinking water out of these potholes. Yeah, they're all taking turns. I wonder what chemicals are in there in the bottom. There must be some other minerals or something down there that they're craving. And they're just sitting. They're just sitting there. They're just sitting around each pothole. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's probably 8 around each pothole. So today's podcast, I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. But boy, is it a good podcast, if I can do it. I'm using my iPhone earbuds, which are excellent. They don't stay in my ears, so I hope they don't fall out, but I got to get used to them. I tried buying some headphones last evening, Sony's, and I tried them out thinking that would help these podcasts, and they were worthless, so I took them back. Today, kind of wanting to stay with the emotions and mental health and stuff of that nature in my podcasts, and want to talk about different feelings and emotions and have you kind of contemplate, process, meditate on the difference of the two. I'll give you a few. I don't have any of this prepared. I don't have anything written down. So I'm just basing this off of whatever comes into my head, and we're all trying to make changes. Yesterday's podcast, I believe the second one that I did yesterday was around, our ability to make changes, become a different person. What we've been doing has not necessarily been working, so therefore it's time to do some changes. And in changing, we need to change our personality, how we think, act, and feel. This is one aspect of that. So I want you guys to think about what would be opposites: anger and compassion. So these are thoughts I'm going to give you guys to consider, to think about, that you normally would in driving down the road. Maybe you'll reflect on a time that particular day that you got angry. I don't know, angry at a spouse, a family member, a person at a store, a guy driving down the road. And your thought might be, gosh, I shouldn't have gotten angry. Right? And what I'm suggesting to you is that rather than it being a passing thought, gosh, I got angry and I shouldn't have gotten angry. I could have done better there. I want you to think right now, during this podcast, about a particular situation you encountered where you got angry over something or at someone. Take a moment and try to get an exact situation or event. Take a minute and do that. And now, think about that situation or event and how you feel about that emotion of anger that you expressed. Think about how that makes you feel now. And how it made you feel at the time. Think about, is that an emotion? And of course we all get angry at times from time to time. I understand that. But is that an emotion that is more regular in your personality than you would like? Or is it something that just occurs in passing for you? It's a human emotion, and it does happen in passing with most everybody from time to time. But is that anger an emotion that's regular and occurs frequently in your personality? And I want you to think about that for a moment. Now I want you to think about, is that an emotion you want to be a part of your everyday? I'm just moving up, you guys. Don't worry about it. Is that an emotion that you want to have in your personality daily? Okay? Is that an emotion that you want in your personality in the future? I understand everybody saying no. I understand that. But think about it. How often does it happen? Is it fairly regular? And of course you don't want that in your personality. But why hasn't it ceased? Declined? Become less? Become less often? So I want you to think about. Is that a feeling or an emotion that you don't want in your future? And if so, what can you do about that? I understand. Get rid of it. Change it. Don't do it. I understand that. But those are the thoughts that you have in passing when you're driving around town. Those are the thoughts that you have in passing when you're about your day's activities. I'm saying to you, how are you going to change it? It's not something that goes away with a passing thought. I'm going to say that again. It's not something, an emotion, that goes away by just having a passing thought. So how do you plan to get rid of it? This, right now, this podcast, is a time for you to process that information and formulate a plan that you're going to carry out in order to not have anger in your personality on a regular basis. I don't know what the formula is. I don't know what the step-by-step process would be for you. I know what it is for me, but I don't know what it is for you. And I'm asking you to take a minute or two. I'm going to kind of stop talking for a minute or two, and I want you to think about how you're going to deal with your anger, and not in just a passing thought. So go ahead and take a minute or two and see if you can start formulating a plan on how you can do that. So the opposite feeling or emotion may be compassion. I want you to think about and come up with an example or a situation or an event where you showed compassion recently. Go ahead and take a moment and think of an event or a situation where you showed compassion. How does that feel? How does that feel right now as the thought entered your head? How did it feel when I brought up compassion and what was an event recently in your life? Probably pretty good, yeah? What did the compassion feel like when you were acting that out? When that was part of your personality. That was part of who you are. And you were acting from compassion. How did that feel? When you think of the future, next few hours, next few days, next few weeks, months, do you want to have compassion as part of your personality and in your life on a regular basis? Most everyone probably agrees, yes, they do, because it feels really good. Can you think of something today or tomorrow that you could seek out and show compassion? Is there some event, situation, or person that you could seek out today, tomorrow, I don't know, maybe the next day, where you could show compassion and how often do you regularly try to find those situations to be compassionate in? Is that on the conscious side of your head? Or is the anger more accessible on the conscious side of your head? And if so, why have you placed the anger more accessible than the compassion? So, I've just given you a plan and a strategy and a process that you can go through and unwire, prune apart the neurons, synaptic connections that seem to make anger more accessible than compassion. So every time, you don't have to be in the middle of being angry, but every time that you flash on the thought of anger, I want you to block it from your head. Block it from your brain. Block it from your mind. Block it from your thoughts. And substitute it with thoughts of compassion and how and when and where you're going to be more compassionate. That will disconnect, prune apart those neuron connections that have probably been hardwired around anger, and it will begin to hardwire the compassion as a more regular and frequent feeling on your conscious side. takes work, you guys. What we've just done in the last few minutes is done a modified little, meditation of sorts. But it's the kind of thing that you need to do regularly, daily. I don't care if you do it in the morning or in the evening or when you do it, but you need to go through the little process we just did and work on pruning apart the anger and getting that dislodged from your conscious brain and being able to put compassion in that. So you have to go through that thought process, that meditative state. 2, you need to find ways to block the anger when the thought enters your head. Think of a word. You could just say block. You can just say the word block. So if something agitates you and you get angry, rather than expressing that anger, you can immediately just say block and go on to other thoughts or put thoughts of compassion in place of it. 3, you can think of ways, situations, events, people that you can today express compassion to. You can set up situations, you can go to places, you can go to events where you would more than likely want to be compassionate and practice compassion. I know that sounds weird, but you do have to practice compassion. You come fully loaded with both the good and the bad. Might be a time to start working on the good and the compassion, rather than allowing the anger to be so easily accessible. You want to get to a point to where the compassion is as easily accessible and the anger is just blocked. So there you go. I don't know, what do we say? Thursday? Is that what we said the day is? Okay, Thursday. It's a beautiful day. We got some haze. I guess I need to call this haze. Actually, it's probably not haze. It's probably some of the smoke out of the California fires. Actually, we got some here in Colorado. But it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm anxious. I'm busy. And hope you guys have a good rest of the day as well. I might try to throw in another short podcast. This one was a short one. I might try to throw another one in later today. But God bless everybody. Take care of one another. And I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks. See you. Bye.